Hi, I'm Byron. Welcome to StepwiseRPA. In this video, I'm going to show you how to split text and also how to join lists of text back into a string. So let's go ahead and get started with building this little bot. These are functions that you'll use a lot in RPA, and Stepwise makes them very easy. So let's start in our bot manager. I'm going to come up to our demos folder, click new, and let's name our bot vars01. And we'll call it split text and join list. Okay. And if I come over here and right click, notice I've got this messy file name here. I right click on our file and I do reset file name and I click save. That way we've got a nice pretty file name here. So let's go and click edit to open our editor. Alright, we're going to start off by outlining our bot, and this one's real simple. We've just got the two sections that we're going to be working with. So let's go ahead and start commenting by using a log. So we're going to do a log message, and this is going to be split text into a list. And the next one we're going to do join list into a string. Alright, so now we've got our outline. Let's do our first step, and we're going to go to variables and look for set variable value, and let's drag and drop that into our first comment up there. And it wants a variable that we're going to set and also the value that we're setting it to. So in this variable, I'm going to click in that field and hit F2 so I can create a new variable. I'm going to call it list of text. Alright, hit tab. I'm going to hit L to take me down to the list. Let's do the drop down here and see where our list of text is. Click that. We're going to leave these text values blank. Click OK. Alright, so here's our list variable. You can see over here in our variable section that it's a list of text. And now we want to set the value. So in order to do a split or a join, you need to be operating on a variable, because what you use is this button up here, configure a token for a variable. So I'm going to do a new, and we're going to call this original text. Original text. We'll leave it as a text type, and we're just going to put 3 sentences in here. Sentence 1, enter. Sentence 2, enter, and sentence 3. Okay, I'm going to click OK. So that's one string. Alright, in order to split that text into a list, I can click on this and either click this button up here or right click and do configure token. And this allows me to do a lot of different functions on a particular piece of text. And what we want to do is split. So I'm going to type in split over here, and you'll see that it finds that. Let's double click this, and you'll see here's our split string. And it's asking what characters do we want to split on. We've got line breaks between those 3 sentences, so let's split on those line breaks. If you come in here and you try to type in line break or enter or whatever, that's not going to work. If you come in and try to hit the enter key, it's going to knock you right back out. So what we need to do, right click, configure. Let's come down here to text, and we'll show you the other way to find this, and scroll down. All of these functions you can operate on your variables. Okay, so here's our split string. Let's create another variable. Notice that I'm in the variable tree inside of this editor, not in the main page, because this is a modal window. So I'm going to click new, and this is going to be a line break. And let's do a text, and simply click in here where your text value is and hit the enter key. So it should now put you on the second row. So we've got a line break stored in this variable. So I'm going to click OK. I'm going to grab this line break variable, drag and drop it in there. Oh, sorry, wrong one. I want to drag and drop it into our split string. Click the plus button. Now we've got this action or this function, and we could add other functions to it. if we wanted to, but this is all we're looking for here. Click copy at the bottom, and now we're going to paste. Click in here, right click, paste, or either Control V. So we're going to paste that in. So now we've got this variable. We're splitting it into a list of text and storing it to that variable. So now let's loop through that in order to see the values. All right, so in Logic, we open up Logic and go to Loop. I can drag and drop that into our comment up here to add it to the bottom. And we're not going to do a number to number. We're going to do a items in list. So what is our list variable? That's this list of text. All right, notice this is step 3. And over here in our variables tree, you'll see step 1. And that's because step 3 that we're selected on is a child of step 1. It's not a child of step 2, so we don't see step 2's variables. But you can use any parent or ancestor's variables inside of a child step. So here, step 3, you can see we've got 2 variables, a counter and a current index. And in a later video, I'll explain the difference there. But for right now, since this is an item in a list, we're going to see another variable pop in there when we add our message box. So let's come in here, type in mess, hit enter, grab our message box, drop it into our loop. Anything that is a child or a descendant of a loop will get run each time a loop iterates. Okay, so now look at our step 3. You'll see that we've got current value. So every time a new iteration comes up, that variable gets populated with the corresponding item from the list for that iteration. So let's just grab that, drag and drop it in there. And so what we should see if we save this and run it is that we should see 3 message boxes pop up here. And it should be first sentence, second that thing. So let's go ahead and do run. And sentence 1, sentence 2, and sentence 3. Okay, so it worked perfectly. And you see that we have our auto close duration set to 2 seconds here. Now, let's take that list of text and join it back into a single line of text. So same thing, we want to do a set variable. So I'm going to type in set, hit enter. Here are all of the actions that start with the word set, but we want set variable value. Drag and drop that in here. So I'm going to create a new variable and call it result text. Result text. And what I did was I clicked in that variable field and hit F2. We're going to leave the value blank. And we're going to set it to, we're going to join these the list items here into a single string. So I'm going to click on this variable, right click, configure token, and then let's come down to list functions, and you can see we can get a value at an index, check that a list contains a value, join the list items, or even get the count of items. So here we're going to join it, and instead of doing the line break, let's just join it on a pipe. Notice that we've got SQL parameters here, or the ability to wrap each line item in a SQL in a format that will allow, when it runs a SQL statement, it will parameterize that so you prevent stuff like SQL injection. So these, you don't need to worry about it for this, but it's an easy way if you've got a list of variables and you want to include it in a end statement, you can wrap those in these parameters and turn those values into individual parameters in the SQL statement. But right now we want no SQL parameter, and we want the separator to be we want to separate it with a pipe. So I'm going to click the plus. Now we've got this here. Copy. Click in here. Right click. Paste. All right, and now let's do another message box to show that. Hit enter, drag, drop it after. Here's our result text, drag it over, and I'm going to save and run. And let's see what we get. We should get our 3, sentence 1, 2, and 3. And then finally we get sentence 1, 2, and 3 added together as a single string. All right, one last thing here. I'm just going to show you one. Oh, we actually have to do the whole thing, but I'm going to make this 0 and save and run. So that way this will stay open at the end and you can take a little bit longer to look at it. But just one more little thing that you can learn about here is changing the auto close. By making it 0, it'll stay open and you get a nice pretty message box here. Sentence 1, 2, and 3 all separated with a pipe. Click OK. The bot finishes, and if I do a tab here, we can see our finished log. So that's it for this video. I hope this has been helpful. I hope that you'll give Stepwise a try. Let us hear from you, and hopefully we'll be able to make RPA easier for you and your company. Have a great day. Talk to you later.